What's the stupidest reasons the TSA gave you a hard time? My Humira. I have a bag with an ice pack since I'm on Humira to treat an autoimmune disease. Taking the caps off primes the injection. Each pen costs $500 each. They uncapped all 8 of them. I raised a stink because I couldn't travel without this, and then my doctor raised a stink when I called him for an emergency script. They were even in a special bag made for TSA in mind with all the drug info. They said my shirt was a jacket. I kept telling her it was a blouse and all I had was a bra underneath and wasn't going to take it off. After this exchange 4 times she finally let me through. Not TSA but at the Canada's border. The US border agent said to my brother about his car, "Wow, looks like you keep it pretty clean in here." He did. It was his baby. Then points at the dashboard. "What's with that?" My bro, confused, it's a banana peel. I just ate a banana." Border guard, "Well, that's not very clean. Pull over for a secondary search." Lol lol lol. I still laugh about this. It was like 20 years ago. Got flagged for organic material. It was an urn. They asked me to open it. I refused. Only time I have ever made a stink in my life. Supervisor finally let me go. A small pair of scissors hair trimmers, still in factory packaging, clearly marked TSA approved. Not a stupid reason. But right after 9/11 I went through security at Midway after sampling soil at a fertilizer facility. I had a bag with all my sampling stuff. I triggered all the shit for explosives and got taken to a weird room and interrogated a bit. Missed my flight. My wife had a double mastectomy. TSA stopped her and made her remove her pads. Then asked if she sued the doctor. I'm glad she didn't tell me about the comment until a few days later. Or I would probably still be sitting in jail for beating the life out of a TSA agent. My CPAP is often chosen for extended testing. I think it was Chicago where 2 separate TSA agents were alternately yelling at me. One that I had to stay there while they tested my CPAP. And one that I couldn't stay there and had to leave the security area. Actual border agent. My uncle and father have almost comically common last names. Last time they visited the US they were stopped and held because there was a warrant for someone with my uncle's name. Only problem. My uncle was 9 inches shorter and 30 years older than the suspect. Not TSA but customs coming back to America from Canada on a ferry. I went over to Canada to go shopping. I brought my Switch. They didn't believe that I would go shopping there. They kept asking, "Are you sure you aren't meeting up with someone?" "Yes, I'm sure, I just went shopping." "Okay, then why did you bring your Switch?" "So I could play it on the ferry." Eventually they let me go, but harassing a guy in his mid-20s for having a Switch is kinda ridiculous. I used the bathroom. Apparently the fucking idiots that run airports put glycerin-based soaps in the bathroom. So I washed my hands. Then tested positive for explosives. Then a man touched my dick. I was in an airport what was known for TSA that do things to their own discretion mood. I had a small beautiful palm-sized geode rock size of a small apple that is carry-on compliant. But the TSA lady said it could be used as a weapon, so she took it away. I'm sure it's up in her living room somewhere. I got it in California and carried it across the world with me. First time I have gotten emotional over a rock. I'm still get upset when I think about it. It was blue and glittery when the light hit it right and made me so happy. But I know if I caused a stink I would have missed my flight and they would have made my life hell. I was flying home after a long bicycle tour and had a P-38 style can opener in my carry-on bag. The TSA agent said I haven't seen one of these since Nam and confiscated it. I'm sure he pocketed it. I had an umbrella in my bag. I have a pin from a breast biopsy that the TSA is just certain is a secret weapon. Apparently my boobs represent an existential threat to democracy. Wheelchair cushion on which I was sitting. BC paraplegic. TSA agent that could be anything, we need to open it up. Me sure. Put that in writing and also give me a letter guaranteeing that a replacement cushion custom cost $6,000 will be waiting at the gate. TSA agent: oh. Yeah. Well. Go on then. A TSA agent tried to take apart my breast pump. She wanted me to take it out of the case. It was a Medela pump in style that had a soft shell case as part of the pump with a Velcro closure to keep dust out. And was ready to try to pull it apart. It hasn't even been through X-ray yet. I had just pulled it out because I knew they'd look at it. I informed her that if she didn't believe me I'd be happy to demonstrate. This was after several minutes of fiddling with it. And if she broke it she'd be replacing it. Her supervisor wasn't happy with the line hold up. And he ended up just swabbing it and letting us go with the pump. I was traveling alone as a 10-year-old with my 6-year-old sister in tow. My grandmother had packed us some juice boxes for the flight. They were in my sister's bag. So a TSA agent did what any sane and rational adult would do: berate a little girl to the point of tears. And then refused to let her go until an adult arrived. We nearly missed our plane. Being friendly to a TSA employee in line. Gave the man a compliment and the next TSA employee I ran into told me deadpan, "You know I can really ruin people's days?" I said, "I'm sure you can, just like all the employees here." Then let me through. Such a weird flex though. I have a titanium plate holding my arm together after an accident. It shows up on metal detectors. I was pulled to the side. I showed an X-ray. The Saab insisted on squeezing my arm very hard so he could feel the plate, which involved tearing healing muscle tissue over my gnarly surgical scar. I was in more pain than usual for a couple of weeks thanks to that sadistic bastard. I had a full set of 120 Prismacolor colored pencils and they were apparently all too sharp. Little did they know that those leads were too soft to do any damage at all, and would crumble to dust just by looking at them too roughly. I had 2 laptops. It took almost 3 hours before they could find anyone to tell them I need a Windows machine. And a Mac because of my work is actually a valid reason. And by then I had long since missed my flight. Mine's not thought stupid, but I was flying out of El Paso, TX, and was pulled off to the side to have my bag searched. I had a stuffed animal in there and they couldn't tell what it was. Then when they took it out they scanned it separately. There were no drugs in the bunny. Blood-thinning injections with an original prescription and diagnostic letter. Still wouldn't let me bring them on board. On a long-haul leg of 26 hours of travel, where DVTs are known to happen. Make it make sense. My wife had her inhaler in her medical bag. It was suspicious. I was wearing a tank top. The scanner showed that there was something in the non-existent sleeve of my shirt. They got real weird about a potato I had in my bag once. I had bought a few groceries at the Airbnb on my trip and had a potato left over. I didn't want to waste it, so I figured I might as well take it home and eat it there. The TSA agents were very concerned and escalated the matter to their supervisor, who came over, saw the potato and laughed. He handed it back to me and said, "We'll let you get away with it this time." There was a suspicious tear in my shorts pocket. They dug through my shit for a compass I had bought at a tour thing outside of Vegas because it looked like a weapon. I told him it was a compass and he said show me, so I just held it in front of him and was like, "Yeah, that way is north, dude." I was the last person on the plane because he took so damn long.